Hey yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our first impressions of Cancer Culture by Decapitated. So Decapitated, dropping a brand new album today, first one in 3 years?
First one in like 5. Anti-Cult came out, I'm pretty sure, the same year we started the channel. It's been a while for this band.
I thought it was like 2019.
No, it's been a while, and I'm glad that they're back because this album is crazy.
It is crazy, and it's basically exactly what you want to expect from Decapitated. The album just slays. Like, I listened to it once fully on a pretty focused listen, and then bits here and there afterwards, and I was just like loving the whole thing. And the reason I loved it is because it wasn't just this flatline groove metal, not groove metal, but it wasn't like standardized through the whole thing. It was fluctuating between different styles, a lot of contour. We like to use that word. Let's just use that word again. It had lots of contour. Some examples of that. Track number 5, Hello Death, one of the singles we reacted to, featuring Tatiana Smalek from Ginger. Obviously, when you have a clean female vocal mixed in with your band and your music, when you don't normally have that, it adds a brand new fresh element to your music. And it's cool that song's right in the middle of the album, breaks up the entire pace. We love stuff like that. Contour, very good. Right after that, you got Iconoclast, which is another guest feature, Rob Flynn from Machine Head. This song is sick. It starts off, I don't want to say slow, but it starts off pretty easy going and builds up to this just relentless, ass-kicking, brutal music, and just sticks with it. And it's fucking awesome.
I feel like that song, as funny as it is, kind of feels like a spiritual successor or sequel to Kill the Cult from the last record. And I remember that song blew our minds when we heard it. Way back when Anti-Cult came out, that was like the song from the album.
Is the sick song.
So when Iconoclast came on this, record, and I listened to it a few times, I'm thinking, you know what? This kind of sounds like a successor to that song. It's kind of similar, but not like a copy. It doesn't sound like it's a copy of that song. It kind of sounds like, it reminds me of that a little bit, but it's still its own thing. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, but the album's full of stuff like that. Like Hours of Battlegrounds, the second last track. This song's got a really cool contrast to it because the double bass is just ripping away, which is one of the trademarks of this band. Just super fast double bass. But the guitars are kind of just drony out on top of that. Like, the guitars aren't matching the drums, so you're getting a weird contrast of these weird drony guitars and this pounding double bass, and he's playing on the toms at the same time. So a lot of really heavy percussion and just droned out stoner kind of guitar riffs happening over top. Those normally don't really go hand in hand, but they make it work here, and it's fucking awesome. The album's full of shit like this. Yeah. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I really, really liked this album as well. What do you think of the intro track? Because on a first listen, like my very first listen to the record, I wasn't so sure about how much I really liked it until it kicked into the title track, and I thought, oh wow, this transition's very nice. And every time I heard it afterwards, I thought it was good and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of intro tracks or interludes or anything like that. I might not skip it. Depends if I'm shuffling the album or not, but I do think it works. It got a nice build up to it. It sets up the hype, and it bleeds right into the next track. What more can you want? It does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
The only time I would say that it's not good is, like I said, when I'm shuffling and that just comes on by itself, and it's not going to bleed into the next track properly, then it's like, man, I might just skip it at that point. But
yeah.
Other than that, yeah,
it does its job. Speaking of that title track, like, it really sets the tone for how awesome the double kick work is on this record. Just during the chorus of that song, fucking love it every time, and this guy's killing it. Super duper great. I don't know if you took a note of this, but the scream that happens at around the 1 minute mark of No Cure is really long. Like, I'm hearing this like, wow, he's still going? What the hell? Like,
didn't catch
it. He just belts it, and it's awesome. Love that. Really like Hello Death as well. I love how that song alone is a good example of the contour that we like to see.
Yeah.
You got the crazy stuff, you got the soft stuff. It really takes you on a journey just in this one song, let alone the rest of the album, which also does that. Another thing I was kind of thinking of, when hearing these songs is that it's like, man, like every song in this album is like a sick pit opener.
Yeah.
You know, you could just go all out with like any of these songs. You know,
it's basically this band's discography, really.
Yeah, pretty
this
much.
This band just goes hard all the time.
I'd love to see these guys live. Honestly, man, that sounds like a crazy show
for sure.
So yeah, the biggest thing that really stuck out to me was how there were melodic bits sprinkled out throughout the album, and you put it, you know, best earlier on that it doesn't feel like a straight line. Yeah. And that was one thing I thought about. I'm like, these melodic bits and these soft elements are really, really nice, because if the album didn't have that, it would kind of just feel like a bit of a flat, brutal death metal album. Yeah. But this album doesn't have that. This album has more than just that. Yeah. It's got a lot of dimension to it, a lot of contour to it, and I'm really looking forward to listening to it throughout the week.
Yeah, same here. As you guys can tell, we're pretty impressed by our first impressions, but we have to put this album through the ringer and listen to it as much as we possibly can for an entire week before we draw our full and final review, which will be out next week. So stay tuned for that. But for now, leave a comment down below and let us know what you guys think of this album on its first day of release. That's it from us for now. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.